A used electric vehicle makes a lot of financial sense. So today we're talking to Phil Fitzgerald of Electric Autos in Naas. Welcome to EVTV Ireland.
Welcome, guys. Thanks for having me.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself, your EV journey, and how you came into selling used electric vehicles.
So my name is Philip Fitzgerald, and I run Electric Autos, which is based in Naas in Kildare, and I run it with my wife, Siobhan Fitzgerald. I'm a car enthusiast through and through. I was since I was small, and not really into sports and other stuff. I was always focused on vehicles, cars. Absolutely loved cars and everything about them. As soon as I was old enough to drive, I was driving, taking cars apart, pulling engines out, rebuilding classic cars with friends, constantly working on cars. And still like that to the day. It's still a passion and a car enthusiast. When the Leaf kind of came out, the first electric car, we were very interested. It was a new item, was kind of a bit different to everything else, and it's interesting to see how it worked. So in 2014, we bought our first Leaf. Absolutely loved it. It suited us, and I knew this was something new. If they could improve range and a few other small items, EV is going to be something on the market. We decided then, when we tried to buy a charge cable for our car, we couldn't buy anywhere in Ireland that we could find easily. So we had to go to the UK. After a couple of weeks, we got our delivery of our cable, and I thought, this is hard work. So we decided there's a market there for it. So as a hobby, we set up a website called the electricautos.ie, which is now replaced with the electricautos.ie, which is going to be relaunched next week. And that sells public charge cables, granny cables, and accessories there for your EV. And from there, we sold our Leaf and we flipped it, and we realized that I love kind of wheeling and dealing and buying and selling and meeting people. So we flipped a few Leafs, and it actually blew up from there. And now it's Electric Autos. We sell I don't know, a couple of hundred cars since we've set up easily. We're very busy. I think we're probably one of the biggest EV independent sellers in Ireland. And it's a busy journey at the moment.
What sort of services and cars? You already started to answer that question. Do you offer just BEVs or also plug-in hybrids?
So we mainly sell BEVs because it's a niche market that we want to go for. It's the specialty. A lot of people are afraid of them because they don't understand them. They don't know much about them. And until you're in a BEV and you drive it and you experience range anxiety and you know how to charge in the routine about an EV, that's when you can understand it and you can sell it to people. We try to stay away from plug-in hybrids. If someone requires one, we'll get one. But for us, it's not at the moment. Everyone has plug-in hybrids, every other dealers. It's not that niche for us. So it's mainly BEV we absolutely love. And we'll advise people that it's suitable to get. Some people come to us looking for a BEV and it's not suitable for them. They may live in an apartment block. They really want an EV, or they're renting a house and they can't charge at home. And we try give them the pros and the cons. We won't sell it to them just because they want to buy it. We just kind of give them real life information. Other services we provide are we do EV tires. Well, tires. If people want the same OEM tires that run the cars or something that's low rolling resistance, we supply and fit tires for them if they want to come out to us. We also do a small bit of maintenance on the cars. If people want to come and get the vehicle serviced or NCT failures, we can rectify a few items and we can help them out. And we also obviously sell EV cables.
Do you service all brands?
Anything that kind of comes to us, we do. Again, it's just very time consuming. With there's certain things we'll do, but there's certain cars that you need some special tooling for and equipment. So a lot of times, if it's simple, easier stuff, and we have the equipment for it, we'll do it. But if it needs specialist tools, it's just not worth us buying all the equipment to service absolutely everything at the moment. It's not the market we're going into, and it is a market for some guys out there. If you want to set up a full complete garage, buy all the equipment and service all EVs and be like they have the Havre garages in the UK, there's definitely a business for it. But for us, we will do the stuff that we can with our equipment. Our main thing is sales at the moment.
What kind of warranty do you give it?
So we give anything from legally, I think you have to give a 3-month warranty, but we give anything from 6 months to a year. We mainly we try sell cars as reasonable as possible. We try get EVs out on the road and people into them as cheap, and that's how I think we're so popular. We're a bit cheaper than nearly everyone out there. But then we have to reduce the warranty. So we generally 6 months or a year we'll give on a vehicle. Unlike a petrol or diesel car, where you can actually buy third-party quality warranties. Well, I say quality in with a bit of a thing about it. EVs aren't covered under these third-party warranty companies, where the drivetrain and batteries are hard to get covered. So generally, you go to a garage, they'll sell you a 2-year warranty, and they basically buy the warranty off a company. With EVs, it's very hard to get and very hard to do. So we'd actually cover the warranty ourselves. So any repairs or anything comes back, we actually take them in, either repair them ourselves, or we send them off to a main dealer or a specialist, and we'd kind of get them repaired. So we'd actually cover the warranty ourselves. But with EVs, there's very little things to go wrong with them. So we're kind of, it's not like your head gasket is going to go or the engine's going to blow up. They do have the odd problem, but very, very, very few. So we're happy enough to cover it ourselves and see how we get on.
Yeah, actually, very often there is maybe 8-year warranties on the battery, or is it also on the motor, the manufacturer warranty that is? Yeah, usually it's kind of 8 years, or quite long time anyway, more than 2 years or 3 years usually.
Yeah, the manufacturer warranty is very interesting. You kind of have to get out the booklet and you have to go through it. So for the likes of, we'll go start with a Leaf. So a Leaf is bumper to bumper, 3 years from first date of registration. You get 5 years on the EV drivetrain and mechanical parts. So that's the charger, inverter, motor, and then 8 years on the battery. But you have to look at the fine details of these warranties. Like the Hyundai Ioniq says I think it's a 7-year unlimited mileage warranty. If you look actually in the book, everything ends about 100,000 kilometers. Something is probably 160,000 kilometers. It's not all as it seems. The warranty degrades as the car gets older. So, but to offer kind of a long warranty on a car is quite good. But again, because we sell mainly cars that are a couple of years old, there's still always a bit of manufacturer warranty on them.
Do you provide battery health check? So we know that for a Leaf it's quite kind of easy to get, but do you do it for the other vehicles as well? Do you have specific hardware to help you do that?
Yeah, so what we mainly do is, the easy way is very like Leaf Spy. There's a lot of apps out there that will read, and you plug into the onboard diagnostics and it'll read. So there's one for the Zoe, there's CAN ZE, and there's one for the Kia Outlander, there's Watchdog. We also have a launch diagnostics machine, which we can plug in and get a bit of information about the batteries. What we do, and that's one of the things why I think people come to us, we regularly get people that will ring us up and they'll tell us that other garages cannot provide it and they won't provide it. And that's a big decision, and you really need to know the battery health. Getting a star report from a service history doesn't really mean anything. You need a physical digit readout, an exact readout. Some garages won't provide it, or you have to pay them to provide it, when it should be a service. Like it's the battery of a battery electric vehicle. I find it's one of the most important things. And to understand, some batteries read low, some read high. So like the Ioniq, I sold an Ioniq recently with 98,000 miles on it, and the battery health read 100%. I have no idea. The battery Ioniq software always reads 100% when you do the health check. It must be the magic fairy dust in the batteries, but the car still performs like 100%. I didn't see any difference in range. And the Leaf is a bit different. So the Leaf, the grades seems to kind of drop a bit quicker due to its software. So you kind of need to get a battery health that suits that car that year and that mileage. So you kind of need to know what you're talking about. Some people might say, 90% is very low for X car, when it could be quite average. So we'd know what's average and what's not.
On the Renault Zoe, some have been updated because the reading was not necessarily correct. Is it something that you've done as well?
Yeah. We have to go to Renault for that. Renault has that bit of software that you can go, and generally once the car was under warranty, they did it. Now it can be a bit of a struggle, especially when you go to a Renault dealership that aren't familiar with it, and you're telling them the battery health is 72%, and now it should be covered under warranty, and the software version is this, and it needs to be this. And they're looking at you like, how the hell do you know that? You know, online, there's lots of information online there. There's forums where there's guys live and breathe a certain brand. And I'm part of nearly all of them. You know, I'm in the BMW groups, the Audi groups, the Tesla group, and there's guys out there that their knowledge is extent. So I try to absorb and use that for my business to learn as much as I can. But yeah, there's ways of doing it and checking it, and seeing there's an update, especially the 30 kilowatt leaf as well requires a BMS update for a certain version of software. We can check that and get it done by Nissan. But we have good relationships with a lot of garages. We ring them up, give them the VIN, and they will actually do a lot of the work for us.
Do you offer test drives at the moment?
We do, yeah. So if someone lives within 5 kilometers, they out. Are we an essential service? We do maintenance. We technically fall under it. It's up to the person. If having a car under your bottom is an essential thing for you, where you need to get your groceries, or you work for an essential job and you need a vehicle, yeah, you can travel up to us. We have people travel up to us maybe a slight bit further outside their 5K, let's just say, and they've test drive cars. So we also offer a free delivery service anywhere in Ireland, and we'll deliver cars to them. But a lot of our sales at the moment are walk around videos, virtual test drives where you can kind of drive around if you want, you know, have a camera in, tell them about the car, let them kind of see how it performs, and they make the decision on that. And then the car gets delivered. The first time they see the car is when it rocks up outside their house on our recovery truck, and they realize, you know, they just bought it, they paid the money, and this is the first time they've seen it in the flesh. And we've had no complaints doing that. We have to we're quite nervous doing that because we don't know what they're expecting. So we kind of put extra effort into the car, and we overanalyze the car to try pick up every single mark or, you know, any kind of issues with the car, so they are 100% confidence when buying the car.
Where do you source the cars you sell? And big question about Brexit. We're early March at the time of recording, so how does it work out for you?
Yeah, so cars come from everywhere. Private sellers, even just the weekend gone, I had a nice chap up from Northern Ireland contact me. He's upgrading his Leaf, and he had 40 kilowatt Leaf Tecna, and he said, "You interested in buying it?" Messaged me, shared a few photographs, price, done a background check on the car, other items, and then we went up and viewed it, test drove it, and we got it. So something as simple as that, and they're very, very easy. We generally buy from dealerships in Ireland at the moment, so we're in contact with Hyundai, Volkswagen, Kia garages around Ireland, and when trade-ins come in, when they're buying their new ID3 or Kona, they come in with an older Leaf or any kind of old EV, they're ringing us, and we're giving them a valuation and buying it. So it's great to see that Irish cars coming back through the trade, where we hadn't got that for years. We had to go to the UK. Now there's some trickling back in, which makes it a lot easier, especially with Brexit. UK, then we're still buying ex-fleet and lease cars, ex-demonstrators, that come through the services over there. So generally the fleet and lease cars are all well documented, full service histories. Guys in the UK, rather than buying cars, they like to lease them. So we generally buy up to, at the moment, 3-year-old cars. So we're getting a lot of late 17s, early 18s coming back out to tender. But so we're still some new cars. So like we've an MG5 at the moment. That's only September 2020. We have a MG ZS we just bought the other day. That I think again it's late 2020. These are kind of cars that have been demonstrated for a couple of months, and we've purchased, and they're coming in. And a lot of questions people ask is, where are you getting these cars from, and why does no one want a new car? Why are you changing it already? And you're trying to tell them that, well, they're not cars that people do lease cars, and they come from main dealerships, and that's how you try to explain it. People think there's something wrong with them, that they're a year old and they're being sold already. It's just the way the motor trade works. So Brexit has affected how we source cars. When you import a car from mainland UK at the moment, there is a VAT at 23%. There is a 10% import duty on cars that are non-UK origin. And that really wiggles down to certain cars that we can buy. Before, we had a huge range, but still certain sources we can buy from. And yeah, to do come in, it is more expensive. Even the shipping as it's a lot more expensive now than what it was. But it's good for business because people can't go to the UK anymore to buy them. So, there's a smaller, tighter market here in Ireland, and we've been super busy since it happened.
How do you prepare your cars for the next owner?
When cars come in, they're not always like you see them on the showroom floor. They come in with service work needs doing, so you might need a stamp, and you might need tires, and you might have a scratch on the bumper corner. So dealerships, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, there's a lot of money invested. Some dealers don't do it. Some guys, some car sales guys independent guys will just flip them, wash them and turn them out. But we pride ourselves, and we have a dent guy that we know. So any kind of small dent in the wing or the boot, these guys tap them out and they're very good. Bumper corners need touching up, nothing like that. We try, because you're spending nearly 20 grand on a car sometimes. You don't want to buy something with scratches and dings and dints in it. So dealers do have to prepare their cars, make sure they are of good quality, and they present well going out. Also valeting and cleaning. So you could spend up to €300 to €400 prepping some cars, and also a half a day valeting and cleaning. Some cars are absolutely filthy coming in, and seats sometimes have to come out, have to be really good shampoo and clean to make sure they're fairly thorough. But yeah, no, we do spend a lot of time, and you never see our cars. They're quite good, and if the car does need still a bit of work on it, generally they are advertised a bit cheaper. So if a car would come in with a slightly lower grade, it'd be advertised to suit, and everything would be open and honest and sold that way.
Do you take? I mean, you take trade-in, I suppose, yes. But the question is, do you take petrol or diesel ones as well?
Yeah, we do, and that's some people. They think, oh well, they come out and they view a car. I suppose you don't take trade-ins of my petrol or diesel car. We do. We deal with a few other independent garages that take off cars. So we will photograph the car. During COVID, it's a bit hard because we can't physically see the car. Sometimes you can't travel, and trying to price up a car over online with pictures, the real test driving the car. And when people trade in cars, generally there's something wrong with them. They're at their end of their life, or there's a bit of work needs doing, and they're trying to move it on. And some people aren't as honest as others. So the car has to have value in it, because we have to resell it and we pass it on quickly to another dealer. EVs, yeah, we're happy enough to take in and kind of resell them ourselves, remarket them. Yeah, so we are doing it. It's just a bit harder during COVID at the moment, but yeah, we gladly do it, and it's worked well with us so far.
If someone is looking for a particular model that you don't have in stock, can you help them?
Yeah, we do provide a sourcing service. A lot of them can lead to dead ends where people, it's a lot of work trying to find out exactly what someone wants, trying to read their mind. Like some might say, I want just a X car, but you need to find out what kind of mileage you want, what kind of condition they're looking for, and then we have to try find to see, can we get it? And with Brexit, our sourcing abilities are kind of cut tighter to certain cars that we can get. But we do source cars, and we do get them in for people. Like at one stage, I think 40% of our business was just cars that are being sourced. They'd never hit the website. They come in, and they go straight back out, straight to the customer.
Do you value a dealer service history?
Yeah, so a dealer history or any kind of service history that comes in is valuable, as in it gives you, shows you that the guy kind of cared for the car. He sent it in to get looked after. Also verifies mileage and other items on it. Now the quality of servicing can change from dealership to dealership. We've got cars with full main dealer service histories, especially on the Nissan Leaf, because we deal with it so much. You lift up the bonnet and it stands up automatically on its own without any prop. Where dealers will come in, and again, people are going for really cheap services. They're going for 80, 90 euro service, and the guys are putting them on a ramp. They're running through them with a torch, telling you what the car might need. They're not taking off wheels, rotating tires. They're not greasing up hinges, latches, stuff for preventive maintenance. They're not doing. That's being missed by trying to sell the cheapest service sometimes. So even though it has a full service history, you can pull out the pollen filter and it looks like it was never changed. So we'll always kind of go through the car as well, and you know, a bit of silicone spray on the windows or oil and grease up certain things. If we see that never has been done. Once the car is out of manufacturer warranty, we'll generally service it ourselves. Once it's in this main manufacturer warranty, we like to send them into the main dealers to get done, just to keep everything above board. If any issues were to arise.
Do you sell anything besides cars?
We don't. Well, other than cables and chargers, we mainly only sell cars. We had a Twizy, which is I think a quadricycle, that we've had now, and we sold recently. But no, we're not going down the bike route. We looked at it at one stage. I just don't think they're there yet. I am an avid biker. I have a full bike license. I toured around Europe on a motorcycle. But maybe when I get a bit more time and bikes come on a bit. I think there's other guys starting to do that and they're doing it well. But at the moment, we're just going to stick with vehicles, with cars.
I suppose bikes in general are not extremely popular in Ireland, let alone electric ones. So it's a niche of a niche market, right?
It is. Big populated cities is where bikes really come into their own. They're brilliant to get around, you know, a short area. We have the Cycle to Work scheme, which is very good for buying bicycles, you know, and electric bicycles are very popular. If they passed a law on electric scooters, I think it'd be very good. Again, stop people doing small commutes, having to get into their car and drive. You know, they can pop 2-3 kilometers up the road and not take the parking spot. So hopefully all that will come to the front.
Yeah. How do you think that EVs suit taxi drivers? Have you sold any of these?
Yes, so we sold our first one. There's a guy called Paul Clooney came to us, and he bought a Leaf off us, a 40 kilowatt hour Leaf, and he's done a lot of mileage on it so far. Actually, Nissan have him on a Nissan advert, you know, advertising the Nissan Leaf in one of their cars, and they're showing that it can be done. We sold one of his colleagues a Nissan Leaf as well, and it suits him down to the ground as far as I know. It kind of, whenever, you know, we'd see him or you see him online, you chat, everything seems to be good with him. But positive thing, there was a grant at the time, and the grant has actually got even better. So at the moment, if you have a car that's due to be changed, you're either up to your mileage limit or your years on your taxi, you can get up to €20,000 towards an electric vehicle, and that is good. So that's a car that's new or up to 3 months old. If you go up to a year old, you're looking at €18,000, and it goes down from there. And I think maybe that'd be another talking point, that we might do a video on small public service vehicles, electric vehicles, and the kind of the new incentives. But at the moment, if you have a car, and I only had a guy in the MG5 the other day, he has a Prius, it's coming to its end, and he was looking at getting the grant, and you know, he'd be getting €18,000 towards buying a vehicle. The only thing is, there's only certain vehicles out there which I think are suitable for taxiing. As in, manufacturer warranty don't cover certain vehicles. So if you have a Hyundai or Kia, unfortunately, once you have it as a taxi, your warranty is void, and you will have very little chance of getting anything done. Nissan will back you as a taxi. Same with likes of MG will give you a 3-year warranty as a taxi, as a public service vehicle. So that's something you have to kind of look at. There's no point jumping into a car as an electric vehicle if you're going to, as a taxi, if your warranty from day one is going to be void. So there's only certain vehicles. The selection isn't exactly there yet for taxiing. The Leaf, I think, is good. I think even the 62 kilowatt hour Leaf would be quite doable. And I said probably we have an MG5, and I think the room and being in a state car would be perfect for taxiing. And I think MG will sell quite well when it comes in.
What about home chargers or a grant? Can you help with that as well?
Yeah, so when people buy a vehicle from us, we can kind of inform them how to charge, and if you're suitable for a home charger, we'll tell them about the SEI grant. We'll give them the link to the paperwork, but also we have contractors that do a lot of work for us, and we'll send them their details, and they'll call out, they'll install the home charger. We can sell them a home charger if needs be. Sometimes they like to get their own guy to do it, but we'll point them to the direction and talk to them and give them some after sales advice if they want to ring us when getting their home charger installed. We can't help them through that. It used to be a bigger part of our business, but at the moment, there's that many guys doing home chargers, and there's guys out there doing it years, and they're doing it very well. We just pass on their numbers a lot of time to let them do the work, because they're the guys. It's their expertise in their field.
Any vehicles that you're looking forward to selling? You mentioned the MG5, for example, as a first estate EV. Any other vehicles you're looking forward to?
I like the quirky stuff. To be honest, stuff that's mainstream, I haven't got that much kind of interest in. So when the Leaf first came out, being a quirky shape and all that, I really liked it. I am looking to have a go of an ID3, and the ID4 looks very promising. It's just have to see how they perform and how they get on. All these cars coming new, I can't wait till a year or two now when they come in and they're used, and we start kind of selling them. I don't know what's the MG5. I went up and I purposely got one from the United Kingdom, because you can't get one in the Republic of Ireland, and I'm just eager to see what they're all about. I'm very impressed. Trying to convince Siobhan to keep it. She's happy with her Ioniq at the moment. I'd love it. I love estate cars. And I think the market is a lot of family hatchbacks is what electric cars are. It's nice to see some SUVs coming out now, proper SUVs, not your Konas, as in even the Neros, while you're slightly bigger SUV, but more family SUVs, what people want. The estate car, like the MG5, it's not very attractive looking. It's a standard estate car, but it does what it's meant to do. It's practical, and people who like estate cars, like that. They like the big boot. They like to be able to just throw stuff in, move furniture, fold the seats flat, and get everything in, the kids and all the stuff in the boot. The crossover market isn't there yet either. There's any crossovers or 7-seaters is quite expensive, and I'm hoping in years to come now they'll cover that market as well. Vans are starting to come around, but still they're quite pricey for what you can buy a diesel van compared to an electric van. Initial cost, again, like an electric car, is quite more expensive. So I don't know, there's a lot of stuff coming out, so I'm interested to see.
Is there anything else you'd like to add at the end?
No, that's it really. No, thanks for having us, guys. Glad we can share kind of who we are and what we did. I'm sure a lot of people have seen my face before, and I've met a lot of guys. I try to do some deliveries myself, as well as kind of Siobhan is the main boss of Electric Autos. I'm the kind of the PR guy. People think they always ring asking for Philip, and when you speak to a lady on the phone, Siobhan, but she does the technical stuff. She does the test drives, the sales, wraps up a lot of stuff, does all the paperwork, counting. So when she answers the phone, don't be afraid to talk to her. Don't be looking for a guy to talk to. She can handle it as well. I'm not always available.
Thanks a lot for talking to us, Philip. The best.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.